They cut the child open while it still breathed. 3,000 years ago, in the shadow of Mount Hermon, they needed to see if its bones were hollow. They were not. The child was 9 feet tall at birth. I am the Archivist, keeper of what was meant to stay buried. Tonight I open a file that churches have sealed, that governments have classified, that science refuses to explain. The Nephilim, giants born of angels who walked this earth before the flood came to drown them. The question you should be asking is not whether they existed. It's whether they're coming back. Genesis chapter 6, verses 1 through 4. When human beings began to increase in number on the earth, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they took any of them they chose as wives. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. The sons of God. In Hebrew, that's Bena He Elohim. Not men, angels, men of renown. That's what the survivors called them after they'd watched these giants devour their children. The Hebrew word Nephilim comes from Nephil, which means to fall. The fallen ones. But fallen from where? The Book of Enoch. It was removed from your Bible, but it's preserved in the Ethiopian Orthodox canon and in the Dead Sea Scrolls, in fragments that predate Christ. It tells us what Genesis left out. 200 angels, called the Watchers, gathered on Mount Hermon. The mountain sits where Syria, Lebanon, and Israel meet. Their leader was named Shemahaza. In the Book of Enoch, chapter 6, verse 3, Shemahaza speaks to his fellow angels. I fear you will not agree to do this deed, and I alone shall pay the penalty of a great sin. So they made an oath, all 200 of them. They bound themselves by mutual curses. They swore they would all fall together, or none would fall at all. This was not lust. This was rebellion, a coordinated attack on the order of creation itself. They descended in the days of Jared, 500 years before the flood, and they chose their wives from the daughters of men. But that was only the beginning. The angels didn't just take wives. They taught. Azazel taught men to forge weapons, swords, and shields, the art of war. He taught women to paint their faces to adorn themselves, to seduce. Samyasa taught sorcery, root cuttings, enchantments that could kill from a distance. Archivist taught astrology. Kokabel taught the constellations. Amaras taught the breaking of curses, knowledge that humanity was not meant to have. Not yet. And the women conceived. The children were not human. The Book of Enoch describes them as 3,000 ells tall. That's over 4,000 feet. But even if we assume the text exaggerates, even if they were only 9 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet tall, they were abominations. They consumed everything. The crops, the livestock, and when that ran out, they consumed the humans. Enoch chapter 7 says, when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. They ate birds, beasts, reptiles, fish, and then they ate each other. Blood flowed through the streets of the ancient cities. The screams reached heaven, and God looked down and saw that the earth was corrupt, that all flesh had corrupted its way. The Nephilim were not just big. They were wrong at a genetic level, a mixing that violated the order of creation, and that is why the flood came. But wait, you're thinking this is mythology, ancient fairy tales. Giants don't exist. Then explain the bones. 1827, Sardinia. A farmer digging in a churchyard uncovers a skeleton so large it takes 2 men to carry it into the church. The next morning it's gone. 1857, Lovelock Cave, Nevada. Miners find red-haired giants 10 feet tall, mummified. The Smithsonian Institution took the remains. They've never been displayed. 1924, the Jerusalem Post reports excavations in the Golan Heights near Mount Hermon. Gilgal refame, the Wheel of the Giants. 5 concentric stone rings over 500 feet wide. At the center, a burial chamber carved into solid rock for someone very large. No human remains were found, but the chamber is there, waiting. 2025, a 3,000-year-old Egyptian scroll, Papyrus Anastasi I, housed in the British Museum. It describes encounters with the Shosu people. Some of them are of 4 cubits or of 5 cubits from head to foot. 4 cubits is 6 feet 8 inches. 5 cubits is 8 feet 6 inches. The scroll says they were fierce, their hearts were not mild. Numbers chapter 13. The 12 spies sent into Canaan. They returned terrified. We saw the Nephilim there, the descendants of Enoch. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them. Deuteronomy chapter 3. Og, king of Bashan, the last of the Rephaim, the giants. His bed was 9 cubits long, 4 cubits wide. That's 14 feet by 6 feet. That's not a bed. That's a monument to something we're supposed to forget existed. 1 Samuel chapter 17. Goliath of Gath, 6 cubits and a span, over 9 feet tall. He was not alone. The Bible names others. Ashbabenab, Saf, Lami, all giants. All killed by David's men. The archaeological record keeps turning up tools. Stone axes, copper hammers, too heavy for normal humans to lift. In Egypt, a pit filled with severed hands, right hands, all disproportionately large. Evangelist Perry Stone documented this. Giant soldiers, their hands cut off as trophies. The evidence is not missing. It's been removed, and now you're asking why. Why would anyone hide this? Because if the Nephilim were real, if angels bred with humans, if the flood was sent to destroy them, then the Bible is not mythology. It's history. 3 theories. Let me lay them before you. Theory 1, the supernatural view. The sons of God were fallen angels. The Nephilim were their hybrid offspring. This was believed by the early church fathers, Tertullian, Origen, Justin Martyr. The Book of Jude, verse 6, and 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4 speak of angels who sinned, kept in chains of darkness until judgment. Demons bound in Tartarus, the Greek underworld. For what sin? Leaving their appointed place, taking human wives. Theory 2, the human view. Augustine proposed this. The sons of God were the godly line of Seth. The daughters of men were the ungodly line of Cain. They intermarried, and the Nephilim were just powerful men, kings, tyrants, warriors. It's cleaner, less disturbing, and perhaps that's why it's popular. Theory 3, the ruler theory. Ancient Near Eastern parallels. Mesopotamian Apkallu, sages who descended, bringers of knowledge. Some scholars say the sons of God were simply kings who claimed divine status. 3 theories, but only one explains the flood. Only one explains why God drowned the world. Genetic corruption so complete, so irreversible, that only 8 humans were left unpolluted. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, their wives. Genesis chapter 6 verse 9 says Noah was blameless in his generation. Blameless or pure-blooded. But here's what haunts me. Genesis 6 verse 4 says the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward. After the flood. Numbers 13, the spies see them in Canaan. Deuteronomy, Og of Bashan. Joshua, the Anakim. Samuel, Goliath. How? Some say the fallen angels resumed their work after the flood. Others say Noah's sons married women who carried the corrupted bloodline. Or some of the Nephilim survived in the waters, in caves, in places we have not yet found. Josephus, the Jewish historian, 1st century A.D., he wrote in his Antiquities of the Jews, Book 5, there remained still a race of giants who, by reason of their huge frames, were an amazing spectacle. Their bones are shown to this day, bearing no resemblance to any that have come within men's ken. To this day, 1st century, he could still see their bones. Where did they go? Matthew chapter 24. Jesus speaks, as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. As it was, in the days of Noah, angels descended. They bred with humans, giants walked the earth, violence filled the land, and God sent judgment. If it will be as it was, then what's coming? There are whispers, reports from around the world. 2024, 2025. Social media posts discussing UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. Not aliens, interdimensional beings, genetic experiments, CRISPR, gene editing, chimeras, human-animal hybrids in labs right now. Ancient texts speak of Nimrod, the mighty hunter, Genesis chapter 10. Born after the flood, some traditions say he was a Nephilim, a genetic throwback, the builder of Babel, the one who tried to storm heaven. They're not coming back. They never left. Enoch chapter 15. God tells Enoch the spirits of the Nephilim, after their bodies died, did not ascend, did not descend. They remained on earth as demons, disembodied, hungry, seeking flesh to inhabit. And the 200 watchers? Jude says they're bound in chains and darkness. But bound until when? Until the time appointed. So what do I believe? I believe the evidence demands a verdict. The bones are real. The texts are real. The flood was real. Whether you call them Nephilim or giants or genetic experiments or hybrids, they were here. And the question is not whether they existed. The archaeological record settles that. The question is whether the corruption that brought the flood could happen again. And if it does, will there be another ark? In our next archive, an artifact lost for 3,000 years, found in a cave in Jordan. Scholars say it could unleash power that the world is not ready to face. The copper scroll and the treasure it hides. This is the Archivist, guardian of the dark.